Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to tackle a question that every single developer faces. You've got a million options out there, so how in the world do you pick the perfect tech stack for your project? Let's break it all down.
You know this feeling, right? If you're a developer, you have absolutely been here. You've got a brilliant idea, you are ready to start coding, but then you just hit this giant wall of options. Frameworks, libraries, databases, deployment platforms. I mean, it is completely overwhelming.
Well, that feeling actually has a name, tech stack paralysis. But hey, don't you worry. Today, we're going to cut right through all that noise. We're going to use our source material to walk through a really practical framework that'll help you choose the right tools for any job and do it with confidence.
Okay, let's dive right in. The whole thing is built around this simple three-step approach. See, instead of getting totally lost in the features of 1,000 different tools, we're just going to shift our focus. We're going to look at the problem we're actually trying to solve. What kind of project is this really? And what does it truly need to do well? So first up, let's talk about what we're calling the content-first crew. Just think about any project where the number one goal is just delivering content. Articles, images, information, getting it to an audience as fast and as efficiently as humanly possible. So take a look at this. Do you see the pattern here? For things like marketing sites, blogs, documentation, tools like Astro keep showing up. And why is that? Well, it's because it's engineered for pure speed. It ships zero JavaScript by default, which, let me tell you, search engines absolutely love. You also see other cool stuff, like MDX for blogs, which lets you drop interactive components right into your text, or Algolia to give your docs some really powerful search.
So the main takeaway for this whole category is pretty simple. The user experience is almost entirely about speed and findability. How fast does that page load? How high up does it show on Google? Every single tech choice here is geared towards serving that content with as little baggage as possible.
And this right here really illustrates the nuance, doesn't it? I mean, both Astro and Next.js popped up in that content-first category, but they solve slightly different problems. Think of it like this. Astro is your champion for pure, raw, blazing fast content. But you reach for Next.js when you start needing more app-like features on top of all that content.
All right, let's move on to our next category, and you'll see how we're building up to more complex, interactive experiences. These are the application powerhouses. This is where users aren't just reading content, they're logging in, they're creating data, they're interacting with some really complex features.
And boom, the shift in technology it's immediate. Next.js is a total beast here because it's a full-stack framework. You see it paired with tools like Prisma to make database stuff easier and NextAuth to handle logins. And look at that startup MVP stack, Next.js with Supabase. That gives you a full backend with a database and authentication right out of the box. It just lets you move incredibly fast.
Now, for the biggest, most complex projects in this category, we're talking massive, enterprise-level applications. The source material points to a different powerhouse, Angular. And that's because its super-structured approach is specifically designed to help huge teams build and maintain really complex software over many, many years.
So when it comes down to it, for these powerhouse apps, it is all about having a cohesive end-to-end toolkit. You've got to manage data, handle user accounts, scale up without breaking, and keep your code clean with tools like TypeScript. The goal here isn't just a web page, it's to build a robust, long-lasting product.
And finally, we have a category for the projects that don't really fit into the other boxes, the niche innovators. These are the projects that are really pushing the boundaries, the ones with very specific and unique technical needs.
And wow, the stacks here get really specialized, right? You're seeing libraries like Three.js, which lets you build these incredible 3D graphics right inside a web browser. Or you've got tools like YJS that power that Google Docs-style real-time collaboration. This is where you pick a tool for a very specific, often cutting-edge reason.
So for instance, that real-time collaboration stack we just saw, it relies on something called WebSockets. See, a normal web request opens, gets what it needs, and then closes. A WebSocket is different. It keeps a persistent connection open, kind of like a phone line, allowing the server and the client to just send messages back and forth instantly. It's the magic behind things like live chat and collaborative editing.
Heck, even a project about building other projects, like a design system, has its own special stack. The focus here isn't on the final app, but on creating and documenting reusable UI components. That's why a tool like Storybook is so critical, because it lets you isolate and show off every single piece of that system.
Okay, so we've looked at content sites, we've looked at complex applications, and we've looked at these niche innovators. So after all that, what is the big takeaway? What should you be thinking about for your next project?
Let this simple analogy be your North Star. It's just perfect. You wouldn't pack skis and a winter coat for a trip to the beach, would you? Of course not. In exactly the same way, you shouldn't bring some massive enterprise-level framework to build a simple landing page. You have to let the project's destination dictate the gear you pack.
And this is so important. All those debates you see online, people arguing about which framework is the best, they're missing the entire point. There is no single tool that is universally the best for every single job. It just doesn't exist.
Instead, your focus should always be on finding the right stack for the specific job you have in front of you. By starting with your project type, is it content first, an application, something niche? You can immediately narrow down your options to a toolkit that is literally purpose-built to help you succeed.
And you know what's really exciting about this whole approach is that it's future-proof. As technology keeps evolving, matching the right tool to the right task is only going to become more critical. And that leaves us with a really fascinating question. What new kinds of projects will we be building tomorrow, and what incredible new toolkits will we invent to create them?